So good morning, everyone. Welcome. We are very excited to have you here today. For those of you who don't already know me, I'm Varda Tirosh, Chief Customer Officer at Optimove, and one of the first people who joined the company founders to make the Optimove vision a reality. And we're here today to talk about engaging customers in the era of marketing overload. And as we all know, most consumers have become rather intolerant to the bombardment of mass marketing coming from every website, store, or app they've interacted with. Basically, generic marketing to large crowds, to large audiences, leads to brand fatigue at worst, at best, and negativity at worst. And basically, instead of creating, encouraging engagement and creating improved brand perception, mass marketing is just damaging this. And this is why part of the things that we're going to discuss today. I want to share a relevant thought that I recently read about the topic that we're talking about today. So basically, it said that the secret of breaking through a noisy landscape isn't more noise. It's about encouraging and sounding different. And I think that sounding different is basically all about communicating with your customers in a way that will make them feel that you know them and you appreciate them. And in this panel today, we're going to hear from four retention experts and veteran executives on how they succeed at sounding different in today's world, using different tactics like data-driven personalization, multi-channel customer marketing, and systematic campaign optimization. So let me turn it to our panelists and let them introduce themselves. So Lee, ladies first. Okay. Go ahead.
So hi everyone, I can't see you all, so hi, morning. Thank you for having me here. My name is Lee, I'm the VP Marketing at Luckyfish Games. Those of you who doesn't know us, Luckyfish Games is an online gaming company. We have a social casino app called OMG Fortune, like Oh My God Fortune. It's currently available on Facebook, Android, and iOS. I like what you said about sounding different. There are hundreds and hundreds of social casino apps. I'm sure some of them are here and here. So we work very hard on creating unique content in a very traditional market. So if you enter the OMG Fortune app, you can see there are traditional slot machines alongside with unique fortune games, such as scratch cards, Wheel of Fortune, color matching, which is, if you imagine, Candy Crush and slot machine having like a fortune baby. So these are the types of games that we have in the app. So I think it's about also sounding different and also about creating really unique content that will give you the edge in a very, traditional market. So that's Luckyfish Games.
Okay, thank you. Arnon.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So quickly about myself, Arnon Keshet. I've been working for about 8 years in marketing retention. I've worked for Orange, for 888, for Win, and now I'm head of CRM at Stockpair. We are a binary options company. We have our own platform. We let people trade binary options, unique from the industry, and that's it.
Owen.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Oren, I'm VP Marketing for Netbet. Netbet is the company that provides online marketing services for one of the leading lotteries platform named The Lotter, established in 2002. I've been there for 4.5 years. Two little stories that I wanted to share. First, is not related to marketing, but for retention. I'm here by mistake. I replaced my cellular a few days ago, and all my numbers were gone, and all of a sudden I get this message. Hi Oren, I hope you got my email. It's very important for you to come. I was like, sorry, I'm not sure who it is. And he says, it's Shimon from the bank. And I was like, who is Shimon? And then 1 second after, Amit, the head of marketing of Optimove, was, it's Amit, I'm just kidding. So I was planning to go to the bank, and I'm here by mistake. And about retention, in general, I think it's super important. At the time, the Lotto was able to provide services for American customers, and due to the gaming regulation, the market was closed. We are fanatic about customer support and about retaining our customers. And once they noticed us, they notified us that the American market is about to be closed, we were bombed by emails and telephone from all our customers who said, listen, go down to the teller in the bank, tell them this is my number, get $10,000, keep it for yourself, and whenever we need this money, feel free to use it and deposit to our account. And I think like this is the best example for how much effective retention is important in order to retain our customers. In 2014, last year, customers that reached to our site or started to play in 2002, 12 years later, continue and played in about 40-50% of their general deposits in 2002, and I think it's a remarkable fact for us.
Thank you. Ofer.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm Ofer Kinberg. I'm managing Slotomania. For those who are not familiar, Slotomania today is the biggest slots game in the world and one of the biggest social games in any genre. I've been practicing marketing, retention for 10 years now from different angles. Started off as giving analytical services to CRM operations and then managing CRM operations from all the different aspects, segmentation, support, pricing, economy management, and indeed the retention world has changed completely. I remember that once upon a time when you did the retention campaign, it was, okay, you sent the emails, good. Now let's see the results, email was sent, everyone's happy, maybe you put a banner inside your game. Today that changed completely. Today to do a marketing campaign is, I call it ADHD marketing. Everyone is like you mentioned bombarding, so definitely today to do a marketing campaign, you need to have a push notification to say something in your network, to say something in the community. Of course, also to send the emails, to say something inside the game, to change something in the game, to stand out, to be creative, to have a good copy. Today it's much, much, much tougher, many more abilities on the one hand. On the second hand, everyone has those abilities, so
Yeah.
definitely.
So thank you very much, guys, for introducing yourselves. We're just going to start moving to talk about the actual questions and face the challenges that we're seeing in the retention world today. We've seen dramatic changes in the past couple of years with the technology that is now available and all the way that the players have changed with that. So the first question is just talking about this. Which customer retention challenges are you facing in the context of the era of marketing overload? And this question I want to address to all of you. So Ofer, you just started talking about it, so let's...
I started, therefore I'll finish. So I mentioned that a campaign today is much more complex than it used to be, and already mentioned people before me that everyone is doing it, and it's hard to be different. So I want to just add a few more difficulties, not that it's not difficult already. One difficulty, that it's much easier to copy what others are doing due to some public information analytics that are available to everyone. What do I mean? Once upon a time, let's say you wanted to know if a certain campaign or a company is successful or not. Either you didn't know who is successful or not, or you bought this kind of report that cost $800 somewhere, and it maybe told you who was successful in this quarter or not. Nowadays, for example, with App Annie or other softwares, you can know instantly, in a matter of a day, yesterday, you see a campaign, you say, okay, yesterday this competitor did this campaign, and wow, look what he did in the top grossing list, for example. So for the retention marketer, The problem is that everything he does immediately can also be spotted by others and copied very quickly. So that's another difficulty that we're now facing. Another thing that I think is a bit different is that we're much more dependent in the platforms we work at. If I again look back at the day, 888, let's say you had a client, you downloaded it, that's it. Nothing can actually happen to this customer. Today, in the games industry at least, you're very much dependent in Apple, in Google, in Facebook, of course. And by I mean dependent, it's dependent in many different ways. First of all, let's say you have your game on your device. Then what happened? In Christmas, you got a new device, you switched the device. That's a very, very big challenge for the retention marketer. Because a lot of the players, when they switch a device, they do not take all the content that they had to. So how do you actually keep your customer when he's switching a device? Second thing, the platforms itself, everyone has these special rules how to operate in them. They tell you how many, let's say, Facebook notification you can send, what percentage you need to cross in order to maintain them. So it's not that you can do whatever you want, how you want it. So those are two big new challenges. The third one, again, it's an advantage and disadvantage, but everything is instant. Instant. You did a campaign, let's say, and you did a mistake. We're all here, I'm sure, have practice behind us, and we all know that mistakes happen, and let's say, okay, we're Israeli, so let's say we had a spelling mistake or we said something wrong in the ad. That's it. You're dead. You're dead. I'm coming from a game that has millions of players, and in minutes you have hundreds and thousands of comments, and they simply can kill you for that. So we have to be ultra and extra careful because everything is instant. That's it. I remember I used to, shake when I started doing it myself back at the day. Like when you hit send, like you know that you're kind of like broadcasting.
Yeah.
Like here we have 250 people. You're broadcasting like to 6 million people, like a whole country. Boom.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I think that I can relate to the challenges that Ofer mentioned when you work in such a close and very intense ecosystem like Facebook, and you have, or Apple or Google, and you have a lot of competitors are in the same category. But I think that it also forces you to be a lot more smart, creative, flexible, to respond very fast. I think that's one of our advantages as a small company, that we respond really fast to mistakes or campaign being successful or unsuccessful. So, and also choose to don't mass market. I mean, today you can't just 3-4 years ago, you could have, in the social casino industry, you could have just upload a banner saying free coins with a, image of coins splashing all over, and that's enough. And today, this is mass marketing. It doesn't work today. Today, you have to be what we call smart marketing.
Yeah.
And so these are challenges, but this is also great opportunities to push ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think today it's much tougher for us guys. Like looking back 8 or 10 years ago, it was really easy. We're just sending the same email with the same promotion or an SMS to all our customers, and everyone was responding. And now we have really big challenges. First of all, competition. Yeah. It's much more tough, especially in my field. So many companies, really, really aggressive offers, starting from like straight away, 100% bonuses, really, really aggressive. So it's much tougher to get the attention of the client. Second of all, personalizations. The days when you just send everyone the same promotions, it's gone. It's not working anymore. It would not work. You just have to look at every customer as his own player or whatever your field is, and that's a big challenge. And the third biggest challenge is reaching the customers. As I said, in the past, you're just sending an email to everyone, and it was getting into their inbox. These days, it's much more difficult to get into the customers. It's getting bombarded of every company of emails, like tens of emails every day, and you have loads of filters, and you have to look at most of ways that you can reach your customer. So if you have a mobile app, think of all the different ways you can reach him. If you have a client that the player is downloading, you have to look at it and match all of them together with the same promotions.
Yeah, we're going to talk about channels in a few minutes, but yeah, it is.
Just to add on my end, regarding personalization, I think one of the toughest challenges is on the production aspect, because today Optimove, for example, as our logic, can tell us which segments to address. That's fine, and which micro segments to address. But now when you need to come and produce 100 different type of messages and send them like twice or 3 times a week,
Yeah.
it's very, very challenging. And this is one major challenge that we encounter. Second thing is the multiple platform. Ofer mentioned it, and Arnon as well. On one hand, it's a great opportunity to try and reach people on multiple channels, but most of the companies, there are so many platforms out there, and it's very hard to combine them and measure them correctly, and it's very difficult. And in general, I think the infobicity, the fact that we have so much information out there, is quite a challenge for marketers.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned a lot of different challenges that are very clear. We're talking about different channels to manage, a lot of data that come from different sources, and customers that are very aware of what's going on there, and there's a lot of competition. And today there are even websites that shows you what are the offers that different companies are offering, and it's very easy to compare, and they're becoming more and more demanding. So now that we talked about the challenges, so I want to ask you in terms of strategy. How are you addressing those challenges and to rise above the clutter that we're seeing today and effectively communicating with your customers? So basically, this is answering what are the solutions to face those challenges. Lee, why don't you start?
Okay. So I think, first of all, for us as a strategy, we invest a lot of time and resources in retention marketing. First, we invest a lot of time and resources in the BI and the data. For example, we work very closely with Optimove, obviously, and additional data softwares to create very tailor-made segmentations for our own database. It's not just we based it on generic knowledge from the industry, but really segmentation that are based on our unique players or game preferences or any other aspects of the application. So we're very focused on retention as far as data and getting all the right data and tools. We're also very focused on getting the right people to use those tools. So, we have great retention marketing managers who are working on those tools. We're also recruiting additional marketing managers, if anybody here is interested. But it's really getting the right tools to the right people. So I think that's the solution as far as we see it.
All right, thanks. Arnon?
Okay, so we invest a lot in our data, learning our data, using it to the maximum, and trying to send our traders, each trader, his own personal promotion that will fit his own use of what he likes. We're always looking for new ways how to communicate with our traders, and we're doing it with you guys in every way that's possible. We're doing it, and a lot of time, a lot of investment into the retention. We're always looking how we can try to get more from our users, because acquisition in our field costs a lot of money, and we always have to think of ways how we can maximize the value of traders.
To start where Arnon stopped, on our company, 75 to 80% of the income is generated by returning visitors, veteran customers. So we definitely understand the importance of investing on them, and along the years, the team was multiplying more its size. As I mentioned, the fact that there are so many multi-channels to communicate with the customers, it's an obstacle. And what we did is, we are Optimove fans. We didn't pay for it, and we tried to...
All of us are, yeah. We're also...
And in a way, we connected all our channels to work upon Optimove. Sometimes it's less convenient for the customers, but for the providers, but for providers that manage to do this synchronization, it works fantastically. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Ofer.
The strategy as mentioned, okay, data, slicing the data, I think nowadays it's kind of obvious. I think we started to overlook something that is actually much more fundamental, which is listening to the customers themselves. Listening to the data is good, but what about the customers? We have today much more means to listen to the customer in terms of community, in terms of fan pages, the survey, the good old surveys, like to know what they want, to know what they're missing, to know what are their pains. That is, again, a very important way to have the right message at the right time and not only look at the metrics of the data. Because you can have 800 segments running around, but okay, what are you going to tell these 800 different segments? What does it help me? Okay, in the end, we need to put a saying and a message to these segments. So to have a smart segmentation is nearly not enough. So to really understand the customer and what they're looking for and to crack the psychological problem, why is not playing? Why this specific segment is not playing? It's a bit deeper than just data, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean, the last point that you raised is very important, just very usual kind of technology means that are existing today to listen to our customers and share information. Like a lot of companies has like Facebook page where customers can go in and write some comments and remarks. And this is very important to combine with the strategy of learning the data and everything. So eventually, part of the things that you mentioned here that are highly important is having good staff that are very creative and can, use what we have in terms of technology to make it to take it to the highest levels. All right, so continuing the discussion that we were just having, how are you translating the need for greater personalization into the day-to-day strategies? So one of the things Ofer mentioned is, having like a community page or community managers that actually speak to the customers. Do you guys have anything else to add to that? What do you do on a daily basis to increase personalization?
I think that, well, obviously we also have a fan page and groups, and I think we have the best customer service on Facebook. And we also, as far as day-to-day tactics, I think, of course, it's getting the right message to the right people at the right time with the right creative. Me personally, my background is in psychology and business psychology, so obviously using those psychological motivation behind getting them to do whichever action it is that you want them to do. So if you take, let's say, for example, user with a lifetime of 12 months and who visited the app twice a week, it's not the same user with the lifetime of 5 days who visited the app twice. So it's really a matter of not only, as Ofer said, it's not only understanding your segmentation, but really, okay, now let's say we work a lot with Facebook, so we run a lot of Facebook campaigns. So it's really getting this specific creative to this specific person with the perfect message to get them to do what we want, whether it's leveling up or gaining more coins or retaining. Another thing about day-to-day, I always tell my staff, and I tell you too, A/B test everything. You would really test, run as many tests as possible. Use, we use on Facebook and mobile, but use all the tools you have to test which message provides with the best conversion, and really just keep testing.
It's a good advice.
Okay, so we're basically, we have a retention flow, which talking always to our customers and listening to what they say and answering their needs. And from my side, just really understanding the data and communicating to each trader his own unique promotion. What I'm saying by unique is not just sending them like a deposit offer. I'm really looking of how, say, they lost their money. How did they lose their money?
Arnon, you guys are using a lot of call center representatives to actually communicate with the clients, right? And this is something that is very common in your industry. I'm guessing that this is part of the way that you're dealing on a day-to-day basis in handling personalization in the best possible way. What can you share about?
Well, basically, we're always like trying to understand and find the right people. What would they like? We're doing a lot of A/B testing. We found out huge differences in people that say, again, I don't know, they lost their money, and we're all looking what would make them really positive again. And every person will really positive will get a different offer. We've done tons of A/B testing. We've tried all out the channels, throughout the channels, and we'll talk about soon. Okay. But that's something that's very, very important.
All right, thanks. Oren?
Three things on our end. The first thing is to keep the right and unite and same message through all channels. Either it comes through email or push notification or a banner on the site. It's very important to stay consistent upon the segment. Second thing is something Arnon mentioned. We integrated Optimove into our CRM, so once a customer approaches the support team, the support representative can see what's his Optimove segment, what is his preferred lottery, preferred product, second preferred lottery, etc. And he knows how to handle it. He knows on a daily level the database is analyzed. Still not real time, but on a daily level it's good enough. And he knows in which type of his, in which stage on his life the customer stay, and it's very important when the customer connect with the representative. And last but not least, regarding A/B testing, they are super important. For us, it's also very important to differ between the short run impact and the long run impact. Sometimes you might reach to wrong conclusions followed by a one-time A/B test. So it's very important to repeat this test every once in a while, even if the results is quite significant, and to measure the impact in the long run as well, because we know that the lifetime value eventually it takes some time to gather.
Want to add one aspect. Again, A/B testing, creative testing. Okay, it's. I look at it as a must, and it goes without saying. I think that nowadays, with all the clutter and competition, retention marketers today also need to go deeper into the product. Sometimes, up until today, a retention marketer was again the one responsible of the communication channels. I don't think that's enough anymore. Bottom line, what is very, very important to our customers is the product themselves they're practicing. So we as retention people need to think how we also change the product to suit the different segments and different behaviors, and not just go beyond, step beyond the offer and the right price and the right message and the amount of compensation. I don't think it's enough today. We have to go much, much deeper.
It's a very important point, especially in social gaming today. The retention is combined completely with the product, and a lot of adaptations within the product are made around retention. And the thing is that a lot of the social gaming companies are adapting very fast. They're able to generate like new features in the product very fast and basically answer the needs for better retention within the product. So this is a very important point that Ofer brought up. Thank you for that. All right, moving on to the next question. I want to ask you if you can share with us any killer methodology that you've developed for improving personalization for better campaign results over time. We mentioned some of this here, but if each one of you can just give one killer methodology that they think is the best for that.
I can share, we have several killer methodologies, but I can't share all of them, obviously. But I can share one. I know that, let's say, for example, I explained to you about our product. So it has, we have different game genre, like the slots or the wheels or the scratch cards. So for us, for example, works very well to identify segmentation based on game preferences. For example, a user who loves to play the wheel games. So for that user specifically, if I'm running an ad campaign, obviously I won't show him a slot machine as an ad because it will convert much, not as good if I show him a wheel. That's what he loves, that's what he plays. So we use those game preferences and then we translate it to the creative and the text that these players are getting. And it works very well as far as conversion and re-engagement.
Yeah, again, personalization. Oren, I want to specifically ask you. You're a very extremely successful data-driven marketer, and I would just like to, if you can tell us, how do you use data to optimize your marketing campaign? We know that you guys are doing it, so share with us your thoughts.
As I mentioned, first of all, we are fully integrated with Optimove, and we enforce all the channels that we work in to integrate with Optimove. So the basic thing is to create a united retention methodology, holistic methodology throughout all channels. This is the base for it. We put our trust in Optimove, and so far it works quite well. Second thing is analysis is super important. The retention team, part of it is here, and they're working very hard on a weekly base, monthly base, quarterly base, half-yearly base, and yearly base to analyze the data upon the different segments. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's very hard to differ between the different segments and move from mass marketing into personal marketing and effective marketing, but we're doing it. And that's it, I think.
Okay, Ofer, I want to ask you something. You're a very data-driven retention expert, and you have a lot of experience both in real money gaming and social gaming. And I want to ask you, since you guys are well known of using it, what do you see as the key advantage of real-time in-game campaigns?
I simply think that you can do without it today, because if we can take something from everything we said here, that if you're not on the spot, very relevant to the user, you're simply irrelevant. I'm sitting on the couch, I'm getting this millions of push notifications from each game. If it's generic, hey, come play back, it's nothing. It's, for me, it's air. So it has to be something that is relevant for me right now. So a lot of the games, let's say strategy games, say, okay, you've been attacked. Okay, that's relevant for me now. I've been attacked, it's now, it's happening. I must come in to see what's happening.
Yeah, the retention has two sides. The first side is to get the customer into the app, into the store, into the website. And the second part is actually target him while he's playing, while he's taking actions within our product. So I know that you guys are famous for doing so. And again, this is also combined with the product. Arnon, do you have anything to add to that?
Basically, I'm agreeing here that you have to do your promotion, like Lee said, if you have a casino brand and you know your player is playing blackjack, you have to communicate your copy, your creative, and his personal promotions, talking to him about the game he's playing. He doesn't care about casino, he likes blackjack. That's what he needs to see.
Yeah, and this takes us back to personalization around the product. All right, next question. Can you guys share with us a particular incredible retention campaign that you guys have ran and saw like a very successful result doing so? And I want to start with you, Arnon, because you're well known as a marketer that use a lot of multi-channel campaigns across different channels. Can you share with us which mix of channels really brought you the best results?
Actually, I think it's a combination of all the channels together. I think, as I said in the beginning, one of our biggest challenges is reaching to our customers today and giving them the right offer. And I'll take an example from the gaming world, actually. In one of the previous gaming companies I worked, we wanted to drive customers to make more, to play more. So what we did is we looked how much they're playing on average on a weekly basis and asked them, I don't know, 20% or 30%, doesn't matter the number, to play more. Obviously, what we did is we didn't tell them 20%. We just actually wrote to them in the email. Every customer got in his email how much games he's going to play next week. And if he will do so, we'll get like a free bonus. And we used out all the channels. So he knew if he came into the client, he saw the same promotion. He got an email that actually says to him, okay, Varda, next week, if you'll play 15, I don't know, sit and goes or whatever, you'll get 2 for free. So using all your data together with all the channels, a mix of it together, I think it's the success.
What are the channels that you're using?
Today, we're using obviously pop-ups inside our trading platform, emails, notifications, SMS, Facebook, everything is out there. We're using for you guys.
All right, thanks. Lee, this one's for you. You're probably like the heaviest user for Facebook as a retention channel of all the Optimove customers. What are the advantages of using the social channels and Facebook in particularly? And can you share like any tips about how do you maximize the impact of using Facebook as a channel?
Okay, so first, I think we're very proud to be one of your heaviest Facebook users. This totally goes hand to hand with our strategy of smart marketing. I think Facebook is a great platform. We work very closely with them, with the gaming staff. But let's face it, Facebook, it's not what it was used to be 3-4 years ago when it had a really serious viral impact to your app. Especially in the social casino world, the viral impact has decreased a lot in the few years. So today it costs a lot of money to market your app on Facebook. But that being said, Facebook also provides you with a lot of different channels or targeting options to have your marketing a lot more targeted, such as app events. You have the custom audience, the lookalike audience, you have their analytics tool. So they give you a lot more tools today to provide you with smart marketing, but it costs a lot more money. So be careful and test a lot to see what works best for you. And now as far as tips, I think really, first of all, use all the tools that they provide you with. Really, there are a lot, I keep hearing of companies that are working on Facebook but not using a lot of the advantages that they're providing. So really try everything that they provide. Try all their beta. Now they have, I know today that one of the strongest things that they're pushing is the video. They're using a lot of video and a lot of cinematograph. So really try all of it. Try all of it and see what works.
Thank you. Owen, do you have anything to add to that? A killer campaign.
Yeah, killer campaigns. I think there isn't such a holy grave in this field. It builds out of many small wins. And it's very important to try and aim to win in all the battles. Obviously, you can't. So I think that's my tip to you, to try and continue and do over and over again. And don't think that only one change, don't put your trust as we do with, but not as
all
we
the
do
eggs
with
in one
Optimove.
basket.
Yeah, in one basket. Try to spread it around and continue and do it.
Ofer, anything to add?
No killer campaigns for me, just a small tip, and I very much agree that if you found the killer, don't rely on this killer to last. There's a great wear out that happens all the time. Something that worked 3 months ago might be dead quite soon. Why? As I said, competition is a killer.
Copy.
People copy you instantly. So sometimes we're amazed. Okay, today it's ruthless. You do something and it's being copied like identical in everything, in terms of how it looks, in terms of what you do. Thankfully enough, some people, again, do mistake. They copy you not too intelligently and they overlook stuff. But bottom line, can't rely on past successes. So experiment all the time.
So before we wrap up, last question. In a sentence, given the increasing challenges, what trends do you foresee in the future of retention marketing? In a sentence, Ofer, we'll start with you.
So I mentioned it a bit before. I think retention marketing in the future should go into one layer deeper than just the communication channels, much more deeper into the product itself, like machine learning, adjusting the right mission to the right person with the right level of difficulty. So it's not too easy, not too tough for him. That's one very big field.
Thanks.
For sure.
Owen.
Two things on my end. First is the automatic creation of content and creative to fit what Ofer just discussed about. And second thing is for you, Pini. Is automatic.
Real-time?
Real-time is obviously you are there, and automatic decision making, moving from the analysis into taking an action.
Arnon.
So definitely real time. I think we can't wait those 24 hours to something that will happen if we recognize. And when I'm talking about real time, I'm talking about through all the channels, not just the pop-up in the client. I know it's there now, but we need emails, notification if it's possible. Everything is going to be on real time. I think it's going to be much more competitive, so your offers will have to be very, very really personalized to each of your players or whatever, and it's going to be tougher.
Anything to add, Lee?
Real time? Anybody said it? Real time? No, I'm kidding. I think that as far as trends, be very alert. Trends are constantly changing, and be very flexible to adjust your marketing and product to that changing trend.
I want to thank you guys for joining us and participating. It was interesting, and I think the people here could take a few very good tips along the way. So thank you very much.